Hi guys, good afternoon. So we're about to begin. I hope you guys had a great Monday. Mine was super exhausting. Today we had our opening ceremony. It was a little rough, but we are here today with life. So we're gonna get started. Since everybody's not here, we're going to jump into the assignments first. And I may need somebody to just remind me to speak about the SB at the end of class. So yeah, let me know that you guys are hearing me. Drop a comment in the chat. I'm gonna start sharing my screen so we could get started. Yeah, so let me know y'all can hear me. Let me know how y'all feeling, if y'all okay. All right. Okay, awesome. So we had 8 assignments, and the last assignment essentially was the same questions that we would have covered in the multiple choice test. So I'm not going to go through that one. And to be honest, based on my results, I think everybody did pretty well on that one. Most persons got 14 on 15, at least 12 and above on 15. So good job. Also, everyone was able to finish the assignments on time for class today. So I also want to, big you guys up for that because I know it's not easy to get the work done with everything happening in your daily life. So awesome job, guys. We started off on a great note, and I hope you guys can keep it up. We will keep it up and even probably do even better. So let's jump straight into it. So this was assignment 7. Let me check because I think activities and the assignments were different. So we're gonna go from assignment 8 to assignment 1. So like I said, we're not gonna do assignment 8, but let's look at assignment 7. Assignment 7 was activity 8. Let me see here. Activity was number theory 2. All right, how about we just go in order how I have them here? So we're gonna go from the back. So we're gonna do integers first. This was activity. You guys saw your grades, right? Confirm if you saw your grades, because that's important. Let me know if you, when y'all finish doing each question, you were able to see your grades. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go through the questions. Hopefully you guys can remember which ones you got right, which ones were a bit challenging. And hopefully when we go through these questions, we can clarify some of those challenges so that we could master the topic area. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so assignment, this last one is on integers. So let's get right into it. So everybody seen the questions, right? Let me know if you've seen the questions. It asks us here to find the missing number in the pattern. So in an example like this, what you need to do is figure out what is happening to these numbers. In this question, we realize we are increasing because as you see here, we moved from negative 12 to 8. So that means we're increasing. So we need to figure out what do I do to 12, negative 12 to get to negative 7. We have to do something to that. And the same thing goes, what did I do to go from 3 to 8? I add 5. So what you're going to do, you're going to test it out to see if it's correct for both cases. If I add 5 to negative 5, so it's almost like saying negative 12, sorry. Negative 12 plus 5. We know what do we do in a case like this. Because the signs are different, we subtract our numbers. So negative 12, 12 minus 5 is minus 7. So we know that's correct. So that means that to get from minus 7 to our next term, we need to add 12. I don't know why my pen is so huge. Let me see if I could change that. Just give me 1 minute. Let me see if I could adjust my pen size before we continue. Yes, so we're adding not 2, but we're adding 5 every time. So our next line should look like -7 plus 5. So when I have -7 plus 5, I know that gives me -2. So our answer for this one was -2. See, correct, -2. All right, let's move on to the next one. Here we had to arrange from the smallest numbers to the biggest numbers. So what we needed to do was identify what we're working with. What we have here is a whole number. So let's look, and I want to change the color of my pen. So let me just do that. I want red. Move this a little bigger. Okay. So we have a whole number. We have 3. So obviously 3 would be my biggest. So that out. You see the process of elimination. Then we have negative numbers and positive numbers. So we know the positive numbers, even though it's a decimal, it's positive, so it's out. Can be the smallest. Then we have -1, and then we have -0, 103. We know that as we get bigger in negativity, we actually are getting smaller. So that means negative is our answer. So this would be our answer here. If there's any questions that come up, guys, that were confusing, don't be afraid to tell me, okay? So I could pay special attention to it. All right, so let's keep it moving. They asked us to arrange the numbers from ascending to descending order. Arranging numbers in descending order. What does that mean? Descending suggests that we are doing what? Decreasing. So that means if we're decreasing, we need to go from our highest number to our lowest number. Now, a lot of people got this question wrong. So I want us to pay attention. No, this is the assignments that y'all did already. So we're just going through it quickly as revision so that we could cover anything that y'all would have not understood. Okay. Welcome to everybody who's here with us today. We are going through the assignments quickly. So again, we're doing the descending order. Always make sure you're clear on what descending is. So biggest to smallest. So you guys, I have a question for you. Who's the biggest? But this is the question we got wrong. Who's the biggest? 5. There's only one option that have 5 first. So guess what? You ain't got to go no further. Remember, in multiple choice, you work smart, not hard. But just for the purpose of us understanding, we know 5 is the biggest. Who's next? Who's the next biggest in line? We have -27.
0.6.
Excellent. 0.6. Good job, guys. Thank you. And so our next number would be what?
-3.
Excellent. Hello? Okay. Don't forget you can post in the chat or you can put on your mic, that works. And so our smallest number is -27. All right. So if you were one of the persons who got this wrong, I hope that you understand and see why. So let's keep it moving. Except these temperatures, which is the coldest? Same concept. You have 8 degrees, -3 degrees, -7 degrees, 0 degrees. Remember, when it asks for the coldest, it means the one with the lowest temperature. So guys, which one is the lowest one? Is it 8? Is it -3? Is it -7? Is it 0? -7, excellent. Okay, so these are the things we got to make sure we keep in mind, because I'm going to tell you negative numbers possess or shows challenges in other topic areas. All right, easy questions now. 6 minus 8, let's go. What is that? -2. Excellent. When you got questions like this, I expect y'all to go through these here very quickly. -2. Next one, -5 minus 3. Excellent. When the signs are alike, you add the numbers. Oh, okay. So I like that you mentioned that. So let me go back over this one to make sure we clear. Let's remember the rules. If the signs, so 8 minus 2 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2, sorry. and the answer has the sign of the bigger number. So in this example, who's the bigger number? 8. So that means our sign is going to be -2. Also think of it like this. You have $6, but you spend 8. That means you're going in a deficit. You spend more than you have, so you're going into a negative. All right? So think of it like that. So -2. And then you have -5 minus 3. You owe somebody $5 and you borrowed 3 more. How much do you owe them now? You owe them a greater deficit. That means you owe them -8. But the rule says when the signs are alike, you add the numbers and you put back the sign. All right? Always remember the rules. Always go back to the rules. And I'm going to tell you now, the rules is the most important thing. Any topic, you have to memorize the rules. That's the foundation of everything. All right, let's look at this one now. This one was a tricky one. This one, you didn't need to use the algebra way. You could have just try to figure it out in a smart way. You have 3 minus something, but you have a bigger number. So let's look through the option. If I take this number, 3 minus -10, I will get a bigger number because this is going to become what? Addition, right? I'm going to get 13. So we know this can't be the answer. Let us try -4. 3, sometimes don't be afraid to try. If you move fast enough, you could try options to figure it out. So here we have a negative and a negative clashing signs. So this becomes what? Positive. So 3 plus 4, +7. So we know our answer is -4. All right, the rules. It's all about the rules. That's why I want to go through this specific assignment is important because this is the one that, again, we had the most challenge with. So let's look at the next one. Everybody, -8 plus 5. Let's go. You owe somebody $8, but you pay them back $5. How much you owe them now? Think about it like that. So what is the answer? -3. Excellent. And just for the rules, because remember, I like to teach you different ways to remember if I have -8 plus 5. What is the rule here? The signs are different. And what difference mean? To subtract, right? So 8 minus 5 is 3. Who is the biggest number? 8. So we take the sign of the bigger number. That's why we get -3. Again, if there's any question you need me to go over, please feel free to let me know. We move in. Write down the next term in a sequence. So this is another sequence question where we need is like an investigation. We need to determine what is happening from one number to the next. So if we look here, we realize that we are increasing because you realize we start off with -9, which is the smallest number. Then we went to -7, -5. What happened in between each? To move from this number to this number, what did we have to do? We had to add 2, right? And as we add 2 from this number to the next number, we realize that's the trend. Adding 2 from one number to the next. So to get our last digit, we really needed to say -3 plus 2. And so we know the rule. You owe somebody $3, you pay back 2. How much you owe them? You owe them $1. But think about the rules. The signs are different. So what do? We subtract the 2 numbers. 3 minus 2 is 1. And your answer takes the sign of the bigger number, hence the negative sign. So our answer here is -1. All right, let's look at the next one here. What's happening here? What is the situation in this case? Is this a rule or is this clashing signs? Let's communicate. That's the answer, but I need y'all to answer the question. What is happening here? If we have 6 plus -8, what's the situation here? Because that's more important than the answer. Understanding what is the situation before you attack is important. What is the case here? What situation we are going on here? Anybody know? Are seeing it? We have a
We have
clashing,
clashing signs.
we have clashing signs. So here one of them gotta win, and who's gonna win? The negative, because a plus and a negative becomes a negative. So this becomes 6 minus 8. And so our answer is -2. So always remember that. So you see, this took us to this. And then for this step, we use our rules, which would be our signs are different. So we subtract the two numbers and our answer takes the sign of the bigger number. All right, excellent. So let's move on. I know we're moving a bit brisk because remember, all of this is revision. If you realize there's a topic that you are struggling with, it is your responsibility to do reinforcement. You can even message me. I could send you practice questions. And I want to give Aya a joke. You know this question, everybody, most people got wrong because they get tricked. 11 minus 3, guys. What's the answer for 11 minus 3?
8.
Just 8. Just 8. Because there's 2 regular numbers. And even if you follow the rules, right, you shouldn't even get it wrong. Because look at the rules. 11 minus 3. The signs are different. So you subtract the 2 numbers, 8. And who is the bigger number? 11. And 11 is positive. So positive 8. Okay, don't forget. Don't let the little things confuse you. Okay. Next one, easy stuff. A negative times a positive is a what? I need my answer in the chat, everybody. Let's go. A negative times a positive is a negative. Excellent. So in this example, -3 times 5 should give us what? -15. So our answer is -15 for this example. Let me go back up so you could see. So -3 times 5 is -15. These are the type of questions I expect nobody to get wrong. Same thing with the next one. -6 times 2, what's the answer? -12, because a negative number times a positive number equals a negative number. Excellent. Reinforcements. We're continuing. -6 times -3. Now, this is the question. A negative times a negative is a negative times a negative is a positive. So we need to remember that negative times a negative equals a positive. So 6 times 3 is 18 and -6 times -3 is positive 18. Good. Now check this next one out. This one was a thinking question. It says dash times -2. Y'all can hear me now? Y'all can hear me now? Hello? Yeah, I have 2 mics. Sometimes the my computer would switch back to my laptop mic and that doesn't work. So anytime you can't hear me, just let me know. All right, so let me go back to what I was saying. I was saying in a question like this, you actually require no calculations. Why? Once you realize that, one, I need something times a negative number to give me a negative number. It can't be a negative because we know a negative times a negative is a positive. So that means I need to eliminate all of my negative options. But watch what's going on in the solutions. This is a negative, so that out. This is a negative, so that out. This is a negative, so that out. So just by doing the process of elimination, did you have to calculate anything? Not one thing. This is the strategy you need to have in your multiple choice. Not because you see the question, you're going to calculate it one time. No, you look at the answers that they gave you, because it is possible just by eliminating the ones that you know is not the answer, you could find the answer directly. Everybody with me? It's about working smart and not working hard. All right, look at the next one. 12 divided by -4. So here we have a positive number divided by a negative number. What type of answer are we gonna get? A positive or a negative? And I want you to remember it's the same rule. A lot of people got this one wrong as well. So let me show you something. Even though it's division, you know, it's the same rules just as multiplication. So check the rules out. A positive divided by, and if you gotta write it down again. Divided by a positive is a positive. A positive divided by a negative is equal to a negative. A negative divided by a positive, I don't even know what that's supposed to be there. Why is that times? So back to what we were saying, a negative divided by a positive, and I'm going to show you all a trick to remember it, is a negative. And then you have a negative divided by a negative equals a positive. I want you to check something here. So let me just change the color of my pen quickly so that I can highlight something. What you realize going on with the positives, when the signs are alike, look at when the answer is positive, when the signs are alike. So when it's a positive divided by a positive, it's a positive. When it's a negative divided by a negative, the answer is a positive. Y'all see now? Anytime it involves one negative in the division or multiplication, the answer is negative. A lot of people got this one wrong. So you're not alone. A lot of people got this one. I was actually surprised. So I realized I needed to really reinforce this. But everybody understand me? So in this case here, what do we have? We have a positive and we have a negative. So that means our answer must be what? Our answer must be negative. Our answer must be negative. So don't get confused. It's the same rules as if when you're multiplying, the same rules when you're dividing. A positive and a positive is a positive. When you have a positive and a negative, regardless if it's switched, if the positive come first or the negative come first, once you have a negative involved, your answer is going to be negative. And when the signs are alike, so negative divided by a negative is a positive. All right. So in this case, our answer is +3. Is it +3? No, it's not +3. It is -3. Because some of y'all put +3. It is -3. Everybody with me? Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Let me know if you understand this part before we move on. Because again, majority of persons got this one wrong. And that's the purpose of these assignments. I know some of you would have taken some time, so the focus was not on how long it takes to do it, but just to get your mind like in check, and then for me to see which areas need focus. All right, we're almost there. In this one, what does this mean, guys? What does the bracket mean in this example? What does the bracket represent here? So you realize I'm not really focusing only on the answer. I'm looking at making sure we understand the way questions come. Excellent. So here, this brackets mean to multiply. So even if they had given us like this, the other way around, it is the same thing. 2 times -2. Here, the brackets represent multiplication because the number is directly beside the brackets. So that is what the brackets mean in this specific case. So here we have 2 times -2. A positive times a negative going to give us what? A negative. So our answer is -4. All right. And I'm going to tell you now too, these worded questions was a bit challenging as well. Some of us get whole. So let's go through those. Let's go through those. So let's go. I want everybody to answer me now. So we have 7 persons here. There we go. First one, a negative number divided by a positive number gives us what? Negative. Excellent. Next one, a negative divided by a negative gives us a? Excellent. 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 All right. Now I throw in this last worded problem because this is where people is getting ripped up in exams. If they give them the equation, yeah, they can work it out good, but give them a worded problem, shambles. We are not going through no shambles. So everybody tell me what y'all think. Okay, we're gonna go through it, boo-boo. We're gonna go through it. All right, so let's read the question and let's dissect the sentences and then write our own equation from these sentences. And guys, don't feel too overwhelmed. This is a skill you actually have to develop. And the more you practice questions like this, the more comfortable you would be because you would know how to go about it. So I'm gonna go very slow because I really want everybody to understand how do you take a question like this? How do I write out my equation? And then how do I calculate it? So let's read through it. The temperature in New York on one day in January was -7. So that means we're going to underline this because that's obviously important. So we got -7 degrees. The next day, the temperature rose. Now I have a question for you. When something rises, when they say rose, what does that mean? Did it increase or decrease? Excellent. What operation is in relation to increasing, especially when it comes to this scenario? You have 2 options. You got addition and you got multiplication. Obviously, multiplication is not relevant in this case because you won't multiply to increase the temperature, you will add. So you should already be thinking, okay, I have a starting point, -7. From there, I increased. So that means I got to add something to that. So we got -7 and we have addition. Everybody see how I have that so far? This is how you break it down. So rose is our indication word. And then they say rose by what? They rose by 3 degrees. So that is how much the increase was. So we are going to add 3. So I saw somebody typed it in the chat. Excellent work. I think it was Trev. Excellent work. So do everybody understand how I got to this equation here? Our starting point, -7. The next day, it rose, which means to add by 3. So we add in 3. And we could handle this. This is nothing that we can't handle because we've learned that when the signs are different, we subtract the 2 values. So we're going to put 4 and our answer takes the sign of our bigger number, which is -7. So our answer is -4 degrees. Everybody with me? Makita, how you feel about it now? All those persons who said that this one was a bit challenging, how you feel about it now? Do you see how you should approach it? And the next thing is, do not be afraid to mark up your paper. You know how I just know when a student mash up a paper? When you see a bunch of scratches and a bunch of circles, because that person has put a lot of energy into focusing on the information that is important. So when it's time for them to calculate, they don't have to go read back over everything because they already pull out the information that they need to work out their answer. So this is something that everybody needs to do. All right, so good. So that was assignment 7. Let me see what assignment 8 was to see if we want to go through it. Because some of the assignments, to be honest, y'all mash up, very much so. Mash up, mash up. So I want to focus on the ones that we didn't do so hot on. So let me look at the results in the meantime. I think this one was the percentage. How y'all think y'all did on the percentage one? So let me just scan through the questions. So you had to find 12% as a fraction. I think everybody killed this one. What assignment? This was 6. Let me check. Because you need to also remember I told y'all anytime y'all realize y'all struggling in something, you must make a note of it. What was your challenge? So let me see something here. Let me see something here. Let me go back here. So that was assignment 7. Let me see. Assignment 1 was activity 5. Assignment 2 was activity 3. Assignment 7 was assignment 3. So let me check assignment 3. So I'm gonna tell you the overall grades for assignment 3. Nah, everybody mash up that, but we're gonna go through it still. Just a few persons would have had a little bit of challenge. So we're gonna go through it still, but majority of persons were able to manage, but we're gonna go through it still. No man left behind, not one. So what activity was this? Activity 7, we're moving through. Oh, that's the one we just did. Okay. That was activity 7. What was activity 6? Who was activity 6? Let me see. Assignment 4 was activity 6. Let me see how we did in assignment 4. Yeah, we did okay. We did okay in assignment 4. In assignment 4, which was activity 6. So let's just run through this quickly. We should be able to. All right, so question number 1. How do we write 12% as a fraction? Let's go. Some of y'all get catch with this one. It's so easy. Let's go. How do we write anything, any percentage as a fraction? Excellent. 12 over 100. And you know, I was going to reduce it to its lowest terms, but I didn't want to do that for the first question. So I just wanted to make sure y'all understood anything that percent means out of 100. So anything percent is out of 100. So 125%. 125%. This is another one that tricks some people. Which one, guys? What is the answer for that one, my peoples? Very good, Cloris. Very good, Makita. It is just 125 over 100. That's it. Because remember, no matter what, percentage means out of 100. No, sometimes it is break it down. That's where the change happens. But this is always your starting point. Always. All right, let's keep it moving. Next one. What is 0.46 as a fraction, as a percentage? How do we do that? Because we're doing revision. We multiply by 100. Everybody remember that? We learned this. And how do we multiply a decimal by 100? We move the point twice to the right. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, I know. You know what's so crazy? I had a student once before. All the hard questions she mashing up, you know, but the easy ones was the ones she would have gotten wrong, because you know, sometimes the easy things you overlook and you do it so fast like you ain't back check. So you always got to make sure you do that. Okay, so just a reminder, to change from a decimal 0. Let's say x, y, you multiply by 100 and you move the point and then you have your number. So 0.46 we multiply by 100, so we move the point twice. That gives us the whole number, 46%. So that's the answer. Excellent. Same thing with the next one. So you didn't need all of these skills, the skills you need to use without calculators. You move faster. So let's go next one. What is 1.76 as a percentage? Excellent. You just move your point twice to the right. 1, 2. So it becomes, I'm just going to do it here big so you could see. You move your point twice to the right. 1, 2. So this is where your point going to end up. So you end up with 176. So the answer is the first option. Excellent. All right, let me just erase this and we're going to keep it moving. All of these things, very important skills. So I hope everybody's following. All right, this one, oh God, nothing can come easier than this. 2 out of 100. A few people get catch. It done out of 100, guys. So it's literally just 2. All right, excellent. Next one. This one now is where we are given the challenges, because in this case, we are given, so I'm going to do this several ways. This could have been done several ways. So you were given 2 out of 5. Option 1, or method 1, change 5 to 100. Now, if you don't know this now, these are some of the skills you need to memorize. 5 times 20 is 100. You always should know what numbers could be changed to 100 and how. 5 is a number that can be changed to 100 by multiplying by 20. So I actually recommend that you write this down. And you know, whatever you do to the denominator, you do to the numerator. Remember equivalent fractions? We did this, equivalent fractions. And so this would become 40 over 100. That's method 1. So our answer is 40. Method 2. Anytime you want to change anything to a percentage, you multiply by 100 over 1. That's another method. So 2 over 5, you want to change that to a percentage, you multiply by 100 over 1. And you know how to multiply this, right? You cancel 5 into itself once. 5 into 100 goes 20 times. 20 times 2, 40. Please write down these two options now. And you know, 40 out of 100 is 40%. 40%. Let me know when y'all finish. So these are the two methods to change anything to a percentage. If it's an equivalent fraction, you could just change the denominator to 100, or you multiply by 100 times 100 over 1. So when you finish writing, please say done so that we could continue. We on a roll. We're moving very awesomely. I don't even know if that's a word. Awesomely, is that a word? It's a good thing. I'm not an English teacher, so it's a struggle out here. All right. T, I just see you posting these little triangle things. I don't know if it's an emoji, but I'm not able to see the emojis. It'll just come up as question marks. All right. It's question marks. Okay, so what are you putting the question marks for? You need some clarity somewhere, or you're not finished. Let me know. Oh, it's the skull emoji. Okay. Or the dead face. Okay. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Hopefully everybody knows it's okay. So no one know when you post and know what it means. All right. So again, what we should be doing is all strengthening, reinforcing everything we've learned, because I think it's very important for us to always be able to look at questions and not just go to the answers, but for us to make sure we understand how to move from what they give us to what they ask us for. So let's move it now. We have here 16%. 16%, you want to move it to a decimal, you do the opposite, right? Because if you had to multiply the decimal by 100 to get the percentage, you divide the percentage by 100 to get back the decimal. So remember we was moving points? So we just move back the point. So the point would be to the back. So if we're going to move it back 2 times, 1, 2, what is your answer? And then we put a 0 here, right? So our answer is 0.16. Again, skills that we are required to know without using a calculator. All right. Let me just do one more example. Let me see if y'all understand this one. Oh, the next one is like that. So let's look at the next one. 75%. Everybody answer. What do you get right or wrong? Every tooth moon bagay. That means everybody in some language there. Excellent. 0.75. Muy bien. Excellent. If you ain't post your answer yet, keep it posted. In Creole, you know a little something. When I used to live in St. Martin, I used to be around a lot of people who used to speak patois. So I know like a few phrases. So if y'all hear me talking, and I know a little Dutch too, so I might drop some Dutch on it, but I don't want to bust our head yet. All right, this one, remember I told you guys in orientation that I like to give questions that we didn't necessarily do to see, Trevor, you're killing me, to see what you would do. So I can tell you the truth. These last questions was meant to bust your head. I'm not gonna lie. The last three was meant to bust your head. So if you got it wrong, don't feel bad. It was all to just see what you would do with a question like this. Because we did not do this one together, but I wanted to see what you would have done if you came across it. All right, so let's read this together. They ask us what fraction of 20 is 5. So whenever they ask you for this, they mean the answer is a fraction. So that means you need a numerator and you need a denominator. All right, based on you guessing right now, they say what fraction of 20 is 5. Which one you think gonna be the denominator? Of, they say what fraction of 20. So you remember we spoke about of before? So 20, because it's out of 20, that's how you need to think of it. When they say of 20, is almost like saying what is 5 out of 20? 5 out of 20. So the answer is really 5 out of 20. They just ask this a lot. They ask that a lot. So let's look at another one. What is 4 out of 8? That's a simple version of it. How would you write this one? What is 4 out of 8? You see how simple it was? I know. I tell you now, I know. Like the worst part about worded problems is that it is be the simplest things, but if you don't know what to do, you see you're not going to know where to go. So exactly, this is 4 out of 8. So if they ask what fraction, another way, what fraction, and I need y'all to write this one out in your books, please. What fraction of 10 is 2? So tell me the answer for this one. What fraction, because all they're asking you is to write these two numbers in the form of a fraction, where one is the denominator, which is the one it's out of, and is the one that they're talking about for the numerator. So one person tell me what they think the answer is. Anybody else? 2 persons send me. Remember, you could always send me direct, okay, guys? Don't be afraid to send me. I need to see what you guys think. So what is it? What about everybody else? Come on, let's go. Remember, I asked for what fraction. What fraction of 10 is 2? Come on, let's go. No punkness here. Let's try. You either get it right or you get it wrong. Exactly. So our answer is 2 out of 10. That's it. And you know what another tricky question is? You know, they could have given you 1 out of 5. If they had given you everything wrong and give you 1 out of 5, would you have gotten that right? Because we know that 2 out of 10 is the same thing as 1 out of 5. You need to think big. You need to always think. Whenever you get a question, don't think in a bubble. Think about every topic you did and ask yourself, okay, if they ain't give me 2 out of 10, what is equal to 2 out of 10? 1 out of 5. That's how you need to be thinking. And that's what I'm going to push you to think. All right. So let's go. So that question, the answer was just 5 out of 20. Somebody marking up on my board, you know. Who is that? All right, next one. Another bus head question. What percent, and this is the same thing. Guess what? I'm not going to tell you this answer. I'm going to explain it. This is the same thing, except they do not want the answer as a fraction. You just got to change it to a percentage. If anybody realizes, they're saying the same thing. What percent of 10 is 2? Look at my geniuses. Look at my brilliant people. Anybody else want to share? Anybody agree with them? Anybody see how they get 20? Let's look at it. That is correct. Because let's break down here. Here, instead of the fraction form, they want a percentage. But obviously, the first step is to write it as a fraction, because before we change it to a percent, we need to write it out how it is here. So which one is the denominator? The one that they say of. So if it's of 10, it is out of 10. Is the numerator, so it's 2 out of 10. We want this as a percentage. What we learn, easy thing to do is what? Jam on 2 zeros, right? And when I jam on 2 zeros, what did I do to jam on them 2 zeros? I multiply by 10. By now, we should know how these shortcuts come about. When you want to add a 0 to anything, so if I want to change 3 to 30, I add a 0. I know what I did to get 30. I know I just multiply by 10. So here I added on 2 zeros, top and bottom, and I should know that I just multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10. So my answer is 20%. Look at you guys now. Is it that hard now? So everybody understand the wording now, and it's not to be confused with what we actually did. So let's look at the next one, because the next one is something that we actually did. Find 10% of 200. That's a whole next story now, because they need to find the percent of a number. So how do we do this? Anybody remembers? We put 10% as a fraction, which would be what? 10 out of 100, because now we're looking for 10% of. What does of mean in this example? To multiply 200, and we put 200 over 1 because it's a whole number. This one easy because we know cancel them zeros, bap, 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 bap. So we end up with 10 times 2, 20 over 1, which is equal to 20. Everybody got this one right. I think everybody got our one right. So we should keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Next one, find 25% of $16. And I want to start teaching you some tricks. What you should know in the back of your head, if you got 25%, what is that as a fraction? That in a quarter. 25 out of 100. So 25% as a fraction is the same thing as finding a quarter of something. If you are finding a quarter of something, a quarter of, remember of means the time, something in this case is 16. I want y'all to realize something. Do you know that this means to divide? Y'all remember that? Remember when we did the inverse? Remember that 4 means 4 over 1. And what is the opposite of 4 over 1? 1 over 4. Everybody remember that? The inverse? And so remember, I'm not really focusing on the answer yet, guys. I really want to teach you what these, because this here is a trick that's going to help you in your multiple choice and your paper too. If I tell you find a quarter of something, it's the same thing as saying divided by 4. So let's write it out the long way without canceling. 16 divided by 4. Remember, that's what this bar means. This means 16 divided by 4. And I want to show you something else. If somebody said find a fifth of 20. It's the same thing as saying 20 divided by 5. It's the same thing as saying 20 divided by 5. Because this really means divide by 5. This means divide by 4. All right. And I'm gonna, when we start algebra, you're gonna see why this is so important. Because once you have this understanding in your mind, when you got these very complex questions, you would be able to cut your time shorter because you understand what these things mean. So for example, I just want to do some more reinforcement. If somebody say multiply something by a half, it's the same thing as saying divide by 2. Divide whatever by 2. If you half in something, you ain't dividing it by 2. Everybody see that? If somebody tell you find a third of something, finding the third of something just means divided by 3. Okay, so understanding this basic concept is extremely important, because like I tell my students, I don't teach you to go and just get the answer correct. I teach you to think so that anytime a question come up, no matter what format it comes up in, you're going to know the difference. You're going to understand. You're going to be able to work it out. All right. So the answer for this one clearly is 4, because a quarter of 16, which means 16 divided by 4 is 4. All right. Excellent. We keep it moving. I hope you guys are with me. We're moving a little fast, yes, but it's all about reinforcements and all about developing your thinking. That's the main priority right now, developing your thinking. All right. Now, this one, everybody got wrong, I think. I got to back check. This one was another question. No, I think 2 people got it right. 2 people got it right. My bad. This one was meant to rough you up. This was the big rough up here. But we're gonna go together again. Let's read it and let's start thinking, okay, where do I start? Where do I go? What number? So we're looking for a number. Is 20% greater than $10? Oh, I have a question. I don't know why my mic keeps switching. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So let's take it slow. I'm going to ask a different question and I want everybody to answer this question for me. Because this is how you think about it, application. What is $2 greater than $10? I'm gonna ask the question again. So everybody type your answer. And I don't care if you got it wrong. If you say 100, I don't care if you're wrong. Everybody put an answer. I got 8 people up in here. I need 8 answers. What is $2 greater than 10? How you get 12? Well, why 12? How you know it's 12? Why did you get a bigger number? Why didn't you subtract 2? Why did you add? Why? Who could put on the mic and explain to me why? Well, 2 plus 10, okay. Excellent. Greater suggests that the number is larger. To get an answer that is larger, you are required to add. In this case, you didn't have to go find out the 2 because the 2 was already there. This question asks you to do what? Find a number that is 20% greater. What you got to do then? You ain't got to find out what is the 20% greater first and then add it. 20% of 10, then add it. Don't you know how to find 20% of $10? I'm going to go again. This is the same concept, except instead of telling you $2 greater, it told you 20% greater. So you know how to find 20% of $10 already. Don't you guys know how to find 20% of $10 already? And then when you find it, what are you going to do with it? Add it on to $10. Don't feel dumb. I want everybody to talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. So some people talking to me, you're not seeing it because they're sending the messages to me. But everybody talk to me. Everybody understand what I'm going here?
Yeah, I understand because I did not do it in a long way. I did it differently.
How did you do it?
I said if I want 10%, I broke down my 10 into 5 equal parts. And then I divided that by the 10 and I got my 2. Because if I can every 2%, it would have given me that $2. So 2 times 5 is 10. So that's how I got my $2.
Okay. So let me see if it is right. So everybody put your answer. Everybody put your answer. What you think? Try it and see now before I do it. Because outside of me going through and just telling you the answer, I love how Myrtle had her own way of doing it. So it is possible to do it in many different ways. I'm going to show you all 3 ways to do it. So Myrtle just explained her one way. There are 2 other ways of doing it. Let's see how we could get this done. And thank you guys for sharing your answer, even though if you're not confident. Remember, right now is about developing thinking. So I'm going to do it the way that generally you're expected by CXC to do it. But remember, once you may do something that makes sense, even if it's long, if it makes sense, CXC will give you your marks, okay? So there's no one way to do nothing in maths. Once it is logical, once it makes sense. So your step 1, obviously, is to find out, well, what is this 20%? If it is greater, I can't add 20% to $10. You cannot add percent to dollars. You could only add dollars to dollars. You could only add percent to percent. So that's the first thing. This is going to be very important in consumer. It's a fear and a mistake to make, because sometimes we get excited and we see just two numbers. We're like, oh, it's greater, just add them. No, you have to remember, you add money to money, you add percent to percent. So let's break it down, guys. Let's find 20% of $10 first. So we know 20 over 100. How much is that? 20% of $10. Bap, 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 bap. So we get $2. So that means the 20% is represented by the $2. The same thing that we just said. So if it is 20% greater, that means it is $2 greater. So you say $10 plus $2 is $12. Everybody see that? Mind blown? Mind blown? That's all right. That's okay. I'm going to teach y'all another way. This is the more complex way. We're going to get to this point. $10 is the full amount, right? Right or wrong? $10 would represent what? What percentage would $10 be? We're taking it up on next level. This is advanced level now. If $10 is the full amount, what percent represents a full amount?
100%.
100%. I hope everybody following it, because this is we're going into a complex state now. If I want to find out the amount that is 20% greater, we're going to call that X, because that's our unknown value. What percent would that be? If it is 20% greater, it ain't going to be 120% we want to know. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
So instead of finding 20%, then adding it on, you could just go and find 120%. What is 120%? Remember, 120 over 100 times $10. What's going on here now? Bap, bap, bap. You get straight to your answer, $12. Everybody see that? This is the advanced level. We will get here. So this is your first introduction to your advanced level. How y'all feel about this one here? It makes sense. If you have a full amount, you represent your full amount by 100%. Let me use a different color so you can see what I'm highlighting at the moment. All right, talk to me, This is a discussion class. This is this is a discussion class. This is where we're gonna learn and be introduced. Don't be confused. This is just us breaking down some different techniques. I love to teach my students more than one way. I like to teach them the advanced way. I like to teach them the simplest way, the medium way. You're gonna learn all. It's for you to determine which one you feel the most comfortable with. So let's go. We're taking it step by step. They ask us to find 20% greater than $10. But let's be real. What is our full amount? $10 is our full amount, right? How do we represent full? A full amount is what? 100%. So first thing first, do everybody understand this part? I need everybody to tell me yes or no. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. So everybody should be here with me. All right, good. Now they ask us to find 20% greater. What did I tell you before? You can only add what? Dollars to dollars and percent to percent. So if we are looking for the amount that is 20% greater, wouldn't that be, let's break it down here, 100% plus 20%? That's what we just do there. In a long form, we didn't find 20% and then add it on. So it's almost like saying then that what we are actually looking for is 120% of the amount, which is $10. Let me know if you understand that part. No. Then what we doing? This is one step. Rather than doing this, this is the short step. This is, as I was saying, this is advanced. This is for when you are 100% confident, you understand the basics, so you could skip all the basics and go straight to the advanced. If you are not here yet, that is okay. I am just introducing you so you can mentally see it. We know already. So our next step is that to find 120% of $10. And we know how to find any percent of any amount because we know we represent the percent out of 100. Everybody, and we know of means to do what? Of means to multiply. And we know to put the amount, we put the amount over 1. And we cancel as normal. Bap, bap. Bap, bap. And guess what? Our answer direct. This is a one-step approach to your answer. I want to do one more example. But not now, because this is not our main focus. I just want to know if everybody understands generally. Even if you don't understand it completely, do you understand the basic concept of what we did just now? Talk to me. Okay, we're cooking on gas. So I'm letting you guys know you could always expect me to teach you the different approaches. It's up to you to determine what is best for you, what is more manageable, what you're most comfortable with, okay? And sometimes I might just push you to do something that you don't like. With love, of course, with love. All right. So let me see what this one was on. This one was our, let me see. This one was easy. Let me see what assignment this was. This was the one on fractions. Oh God, the first 2 questions, everybody. This second one, most people got wrong. Not everybody. So I don't want to do all of this one because this one was pretty easy, but I just want to focus on the question that majority of persons didn't get. And that would be this question here. Finding the largest fraction. You cannot look at this. You can, but you can't look at this and compare these fractions. Anybody can tell me why we can't compare these fractions? We cannot compare these fractions because they do not have the same denominator. They must have the same denominator. So this is a question about equivalent fractions. And even if you look at it, right? The more that you have, the bigger the number at the bottom means the more pieces you have, which means the smaller the pieces are. But we're going to get to that in another point. Because to be honest, that's more so, it's not important for you because they don't test this, but it's for general knowledge. So let's break this down. We got 2/8. What is a common denominator between 8, 5, 10, and 4? You should be able to figure out this here fast, because y'all should 40. Be good in your timetable. 40. Your jaw box? That's cute. At least you were really determined to figure out your answer. But this question, anytime you have fractions, just like how you can't add fractions if the denominator is not the same, you can't compare fractions because you have to make them all on the same playing field. So all of them must have the same denominator. So how do I change? Let me change my color pen so we can see how we will be breaking this down. So yeah, how do I change 8 to 40 again? Multiply by 5. And we know whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So this is all about, this question is a lengthy question. A question like this that come, yeah. What do I do to 5 to turn into 8 to 40? Multiply by 8. So right now I'm just multiplying and then I'm going to find out the answers. What do I do to 10 to make it into 40? Multiply by 4. Equivalent fractions. What do I do to 4 to turn into 40? Multiply by 10. I intentionally put in this question because I knew that it was important to see if you all really understood when and where the topics was important. Because yeah, you can learn equivalent fractions, but you have to understand when to use it. So your first, what was that? What happened there just now? You know, let's try this again. Okay, that's better. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. So what we're going to end up with, 2 times 5, I back check it. 2 times 5 is 10. So this would be 10 out of 40. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 out of 40. And y'all should be able to do this out of your head. 4 times 5 is 20 over 40. 3 times 10, 30 over 40. So obviously, who's the bigger one? 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Everybody see this? Everybody understand this basic concept? Don't get catch again. Don't get catch again. Don't get catch again. All right. Cloris said no. Okay, talk to me. Which part? Which part not clear? All right, so let me verbally try to explain. You have a shape, right? If you have a shape and you have the shape cut into 8 pieces and you take out 2, and you have another shape and you cut it into a different number of pieces, it is hard for you to determine what pieces are bigger because all of them have different sizes, right? So for you to be able to determine who has the bigger fraction, you have to make them all equal. And this is where equivalent fractions come in. So just like what we did before, we had to turn 2 over 8 to something over 40 because 40 is the common number between 8, 5, 10, and 4. When you change all these fractions to fractions with the same denominator, then you could compare it. Okay? And even if you don't understand it now, we can, okay, good. Okay, great. So that's the only way you could compare. It's almost like saying, put them from smallest to biggest. I think we did an activity like that before. You can't put them in order if you don't know who bigger or who smaller. So you put all of them on the same playing field by giving them all the same denominator. So that way you could easily see, okay, obviously 2 out of 40 is smaller than 10 out of 40. Okay? All right, good job. All right, let me see another question that was ripping everybody up. So if you see something that you think you need me to go through, don't be afraid. But everybody should be able to turn this mixed fraction into improper fraction. Everybody got this one right? Everybody got this one right as well. Turning the mixed number to an improper fraction. Everybody, I wonder if anybody get catch with this one. What the answer is for this one, guys? Let me see something here. What's the answer for this one? 7 over 8 plus 3 over 8. Are you hearing me? Guys? Okay, thank you, Makita. 10 over 8. Everybody agree? I think 1 or 2 persons had 10 over 16. Remember that the denominator is never added. Okay? And we looked at the reasons why. It's almost saying you have 7 8s and you add 3 of them to them. So how much 8s do you have in all? You're still dealing with 8s. You just only now have 10 of them. Okay? So keep those things in mind. Same thing with the next one. That was easy. I think everybody got it right. I want to do this one because I want to reinforce our fractions, because remember, this is something that comes in paper too. So we have to be strong in this question here. So let's run through this one just as a quick revision. 2 and 1 over 3 plus 1 and 1 over 4. Now I'm going to tell y'all now, is it necessary for us to change this to a mixed improper fraction? Because we're adding, we could just add. You see, if we were subtracting, that's a whole next drama. But because we're adding, we could do the simple way of adding these 2 fractions by just simply saying 2 plus 1 is 3. And I just want to you guys keep in mind, you always look at the question and you go through the rules. Is it necessary to change the improper fraction? Is it not? That's very important. Don't go do unnecessary work for unnecessary questions. So let's keep it moving. So we know 2 plus 1 is 3 because we're adding. So now we only got to focus on what? 1 over 3 plus 1 over 4. I can't add thirds to quarters because they have two different denominators. So we know we got to find the LCM, which is 12. How do I change 3 to 12 multiplied by 4, top and bottom? How do I change 4 to 12 multiplied by 3, top and bottom? So we have two new fractions. We have 4 plus 3. Keeping in mind, bring back down your 3, you know, because some people just forget it. So final answer is 3, 7 over 12. Adding fractions must be a strong skill of yours. Must. So we only just did an hour, so I think we're doing very good. So we almost finished. Let me scroll through. The next question, pretty simple, straightforward. I wanted this where the problems kind of rip us up. Anybody had any challenge with this one? Marlon has 2 1/4 gallons of paint. He uses 1 2/3 gallons of paint. How much does he have left? What is the operation here? One person answers so far. What about everybody else? What do we do here? Do we add? Do we multiply? Do we subtract? Do we divide? What? Everybody, let's go. What do you think? Remember, it's all about making sure we understand what is required of us from these worded problems. All right, excellent job. Everyone, we are subtracting. So obviously, this is our starting point. That's no problem. This is our starting point, and this is the difference. And we know difference means to subtract. So 2 and 1 over 4, subtract 1 and 2 over 3. Good. So if you realize you struggle with subtraction, you must make sure you put in the necessary. And I'm glad that you were able to identify that it's something that, you know, you could get stronger in. So in this question, if I look at this, I can't go say 2 minus 1. You know why? Because 2/3 is bigger than 1/4. So I have to change this. So you see, in this example, I know I have to change to my improper fractions. This is what I was explaining to you guys before. When you're adding, it doesn't matter because you're adding. But when you're subtracting, you have to look at the second number and see, is it small enough to subtract from the first number? And in this case, it is not. So we have to change this to improper fractions. What is this as an improper fraction? Talk to me, my people.
7 over 4.
Excellent. 7? Check it
Sorry,
again.
8 over 4.
Check it again.
9 over 4.
Good.
Sorry.
Good job. So 9 over 4 minus, next one, what is this as an improper fraction? Very good. 5 over 3. Excellent. 5 over 3. Why 5? Because 3 times 1, that's okay. I'm glad you say so I could go through it and make sure you remember. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So it's 5 over 3. And so we know we take it from here by finding what? Our LCM. I don't know why, you know, I wouldn't believe, right? My pen in my hand is straight, but it slanted on the screen. Be honest, what's going on? But once y'all could see, that's okay, right? So we try nothing. So let me see if I could get it to right straight now, because I don't know. So LCM is 12, very good. And so we multiply by 3, top and bottom. We multiply by 4, top and bottom. By now, we should know why we're doing this. 9 times 3, 27. Subtract 5 times 4, 20. So our answer, 7 over 12. Okay? Pretty straightforward. All right. I want to go through the multiplication, but I think the persons who are struggling with the multiplication not here, because everybody else killed the multiplication. How y'all feel about multiplying fractions, guys? Strong? Weak? Y'all need me to go through it? Speak now, forever hold your peace. average, let me just do a quick one here then. Let's do this one together. Let's do this one. We're going to do it then. Once you say average, we're going to do it. So let's go 3/4 times 4/9. I love this question because this is a double cancellation question. So both diagonals can be canceled. 4 into itself once, 4 into itself once, 3 into itself once, 3 into itself, 3 into 9 3 times. So the answer is a third. Right? Let's move down. I want to do the worded problems. So that next question should be easy. Let me ask this question though. What about this one? How would you answer this one, guys? 1 and 2/4 times 2/6. How do we work this one out? What must happen first? We're talking about
improper fraction.
We must turn it into an improper fraction. We cannot ever multiply two fractions where one or two of them are mixed numbers. So we started off with 1 and 2/4 times 2/6. You can't go and cancel out these here, no. You must change this to improper. So this as an improper will be 4 times 1, 4 plus 2, 6/4 times 2/6. A nice question like this to cancel. 2 into itself once, 2 into 4 twice. 6 to itself once, 6 to itself once. The answer is 1/2. Everybody see that? All right. Let's keep it moving. This question, yeah. This question, catch some people. Anybody know what to do here? Okay, Makita said to multiply. Y'all agree, disagree? What y'all thinking? Because some people got tricked by this one here. All right, so some people, before we move on, somebody asked me a direct question, which is very good. They asked, when is it important to change the mixed fractions into improper fractions? This is the truth. The truth is you should always, anytime you're doing any operation, the smartest thing to do is always change it to an improper fraction for all operations. But when it comes to addition, it's not necessary because you could add the whole numbers and then add the fractions separately. You see what I mean? So in every case, you should change it to an improper fraction, but addition, because of the ease of it when you're adding, you could use a different method with adding. You could add the whole numbers and then you could add the fraction separately. That's the only case where you can operate using the whole numbers and the fractions separately. In every other case, you always change it to an improper fraction. So I hope that answers your question. Let me know if that helped. All right. So everybody say multiply. Excellent. Excellent. Because if you got one bag is this and they want to know what 8 is. So all you had to do, my good people, you set it out first. Because do you know sometimes CXC give you marks for just setting out the question properly? Okay. If you're multiplying by 8, which is a whole number, you're dealing with fractions, you can't just write 8. You got to express it as 8/1. So our next step is to change this into our improper fraction. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So we got 11/8 times 8/1. You see how easy this question is? Watch your BAP. So your answer is 11 kg. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Next question here. Let's do this one example of division. What do we do, guys? What is the rule when you're dividing fraction? It's something and something. It's
you
something.
Change the multiplication and flip the second number.
Okay, what's the shorthand form of that? What we to say? What we to say, guys? You remember?
Flip and switch.
Yeah, but you gotta turn it around, because you remember one come first. Who come first? You always switch.
Switch, then flip.
And flip. Good job, though, my peoples. Good job, my peoples. Very, very important. And I want y'all to know something. There's a topic in algebra where you have to do algebra fractions. And let me just give you so you can emotionally prepare, because this is one that does rip up people. So I want you to mentally prepare now, which is why being strong in fractions is important, because when we start incorporating letters up in there, it's a whole next level. So you might have x over 3 plus x over 4. Same rules in our fractions. But if you're not sure with the fraction rules, you're salt. So you have to remember them. So very good. So let's just erase this because me and want nobody get a heart attack. Same thing I just said. We ain't reached there yet. Don't worry. I Miss V got you. Don't worry. It's actually my favorite topic to teach. So yeah, all my students is always mash up algebra. Mash up everything, but algebra is like my number one topic. And you know why? I'm going to tell y'all now. Algebra is in every single topic. Every single section that you're going to do. So if you're weak in algebra, I tell students all the time, if you're weak in algebra, your chances of passing well is going to be very hard, because the content, the skills, you need them for every subject. So as we were here, let's get back here. Dividing fractions, we know it is a switch and a flip. And you know why you have to remember, because remember you're only flipping the second fraction and you're changing the sign. Nothing happening to the first fraction. So it's 6 over 8 divided by 3 over 4, which is equal to, you have to write this as well. Like if you don't write this, you lose points. You actually have to show them that you switch and flip. So keep this in mind, guys, when you're doing your working. It's very important. And then you get your workings for canceling. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you end up with 2 over 2. And let me ask y'all a question. Ain't gonna 2 over 2 in the options, but what is the answer? What is 2 over 2 equal to? Okay, then look at my students. Look at my students. That's right. That's right. Good job. You won't believe I was so exhausted at the beginning of class. You see what teaching maths does to me? It's crazy. Crazy. I feel all energetic and whatnot. All right. Let's look at this next worded problem. Unfortunately, we didn't do so good in this question. We did good in the other one, but we didn't do so good in this one. So we have to go through this one for sure, for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. You can't see. What can't you see? You're not seeing my shared screen. Okay, let me stop sharing and share again. Hold on. Can you see now? Can you see now? Y'all can see my screen? Okay. All right, let's keep it moving. So we have here, how many, and this part, I don't even really care about the answer. I want us to look at what we need to get done. What is this question requiring of us to do? So we're picking up the keywords, we're picking up our starting point, our change in number. You realize you always have a starting number and a change in number, and that's the number you're either going to add to your starting number or multiply to your starting number or divide to your starting number. That's how you should be thinking. Your starting number, the indicator number, which tells you whether you're adding, multiplying, subtracting, dividing, and then your action number, which is the number that you're either doing whatever you're doing to it. All right, so hopefully y'all understand what I mean when I use these terms, because when you read these questions, you should have your mind thinking along those lines. So let's read through these questions here. How many 250K bags of coffee can be made from a 10K container? And you have to think about it in real life. If you got a big bag, a 10K bag, and you want to know how much bags that weigh 2/5, what are you going to do? You ain't got to share them out. What operation represents sharing? Think about it before you say. If you are sharing, when you share something, what you're doing, you're splitting it up, right? What is the same thing as splitting up something? Division. So Trev, you see why it's not multiplication? Because when you're multiplying is saying that you're taking one thing and then you're giving it out a lot of times. But in this case, we have one big thing and we need to see how much times we could get this one size bag from it. So it must be division. And then the next question is, because the truth is, I got students who might write this. 2/5 divided by 10. Is this right or is this wrong? That's the next question. Which one is it? Is it 10/1 divided by 2/5 or 2/5 divided by 10/1? Is it option 1 or option 2? You see why I'm breaking this down? So that we could discuss it. Come, let's go everybody else. What you think? You need to pick one. You have to choose one. If you was doing this on your own without me, what would you have written down? No, let's evaluate it. Let's look at it now. Even though this number came first, what are we sharing? Who is being divided? Are we dividing the 2K bag or are we dividing the 10K bag? So if we're going to divide the 10K bag, that means it cannot be the first option, because look at it. That means the second option is saying the 10K bag is being divided by the 2/5 bag. So everybody see why it is number 2 and not number 1? So right now, again, we're focusing on how, on the how, not the answer, on the how. Okay, so always keep that in mind. So even though in the question 2/5 came first, it is not your starting number, because your starting number is the 10K bag. So you see, this question, they actually flip it for you, and you are required to understand that 10K is your starting number, because that's the big bag that you need to share up into the 2/5. And the 2/5 would be then your action number. So this is what you should be working on. So let's work it out now, because we know how to divide fractions. 10/1 divided by 2/5. And then you know this means switch and flip. So 10/1 times 5/2. So we do what we normally do. 2 into itself goes once. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. So your answer is 25. Everybody see that? And I really hope that you guys are really absorbing the way to think. So I am not trying to teach you to get the answer. I'm trying to teach you to think. So I'm hoping that you guys are understanding how to dissect the question, how to determine, okay, I could do this and I could do that, but which one makes more sense? Which one is the right one? So talk to me. Is this helping you guys think? Okay, good. So some people saying yes, it helping them to realize how to work these questions. That's where we're going with this. And I'm gonna tell you, this is the difference between a fail and a 3 and a 2, a 2 and a 1. And starting this month, every time we do, because from now on, no assignments will be done online. All assignments will be done in your book. You will take pictures of it and you will send it to me, because now, every time you do any work, at the end of it, I'm going to tell you this work is a grade 3 level, and it's not to make you feel bad, but it's to give you the truth, to tell you where you need to go, how much work you need to do, because at this moment, I know it's early, because some people just be like, why you don't doing past papers? Duh, yes. Because if you're mentally doing it now, by next year, we ramming through these here like nothing. So I just making sure you guys understand how I teach, my methods, and it's important for y'all to be on the same page with me. So that is how I need y'all to do. So as I was saying, assignments will be done in your books. You would take the picture, you will send it to me, I will mark it, and I will let you know this is where your weaknesses are, this is where you need to improve, and what level you are currently performing at. And our aim is to get you to the next level higher. All right, so let's keep it moving. We're almost done. I think today was very productive. Hope you guys find it productive as well. Let's keep moving. All right, so next question. We express a decimal as a fraction. That should be easy, but just for the purpose of reviewing, let's look at it. We got 0.25. Who want to tell me what is this as a fraction? Not as in its simplest form yet, just as a regular fraction. How would you write this as a fraction as is? Excellent. So 25 out of 100, that's the first step. And remember, I spoke to you about trigger numbers. Anytime you got 25 and 100, the first thing that should come to your mind, you shouldn't even have to calculate this. You should know that this is what, a quarter. Remember I taught y'all this? Think about it as 25 cents out of 100. You got 1/4 out of 4. Okay? So questions like that, easy, slamming. All right, let's keep it going. Next one, we should know how to find a third of 18. You have to, very good. You have to always think about it like that. A third of 18, we know a third of, we know of means to do what, multiply. So a third of 18. So we know into itself once, into 18, 6 times, 6 over 1, 6. Easy stuff. Now this last one here, most people got wrong. You realize the last question is always a rip-up question. I don't do it to stress out. Remember that? It's about, you know, challenging you. What do we do here, guys? This ain't hard. You know, this is the same thing we're doing all the time. Instead of a whole number, though, they just ask you to find of another fraction. Yeah. So it's really just 2/5. What does of mean? To times. And you just find it of 25 over 30. That's it. That is it. And you cancel normal. 5 into itself goes once. 5 into 25 goes 5 times. 2 into itself goes once. 2 into 30 goes 15 times. So your answer is 5 over 15. What you realize about this number? I can break it down. What is this number broken down, guys? What is this broken? Excellent. 1 over 3. When we break this down to its lowest terms, it's 1 over 3. Do we have that as an option? Yes. So we see here that everything that we've done in this activity we did before, it just came in different forms. All right. So I didn't ask you guys how y'all felt about the activities from before, but let's do a checkpoint because we have a half an hour left. So let's just take a quick break and y'all give me some feedback. How y'all feel about what we've revised so far? Have you guys feel clearer? Was there anything that you realize you're struggling with still? You feel like it's productive? Talk to me. Okay, so it's definitely helping. Okay, very productive, more clear on those that I struggle with. Very good. That's the purpose for today's session. It's all about making sure we see, we understand, we develop our thinking. I can't wait to get into algebra because, to be honest, we are done with number theory and computation. Oh, yes. Okay. Somebody messaged me and said they have to work on integers. Integers is very important, guys. I tell you, if it's one thing you want to be 100% strong in, is integers. Okay. So that's just a word of advice for persons. I'm very proud of you guys for sticking with it and being very disciplined. That's one of the things I must commend you guys for. So big up yourself. All right, decimals. Let me see which one was this one. 4. Let me see if I could find how y'all did in this one. Decimals. How y'all felt about the decimals one? This was activity 4. Which assignment was activity 4? Activity 4. That was assignment 5. Let me see how y'all did in assignment 5. Okay, I mash up assignment 5. Okay. The lowest grade was 11. The highest was 18. 11 on 18, 18 on 18. So I'm just gonna look to see what questions gave y'all a little struggle. And we're gonna focus on those questions. And then we're gonna have a quick conversation on the SBA. I need to put y'all in groups. Just a heads up, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The SBA don't contribute to your learning. I'll be honest. If you was in school, the purpose of an SBA is not just to give you extra marks. It's supposed to give you exposure into applying a math concept in everyday life challenges. And then the SBA itself is supposed to be something that allows you to share with other persons as a solution. So for example, so we're just taking a quick break, guys, because I think we did a lot. So we're just going to talk about the SBA now. So for example, let's say like my current 5th farm, they finished their SBA, but we're in 4th farm. So we did all of our SBAs in 4th farm. So their topic was students' preference into the types of learning. So online versus face-to-face, like the pros and cons of that. And why is that a good SBA topic? Because if any teacher pick up that SBA, they would be able to see what students liked about virtual learning and what they dislike about virtual learning. And they would see what they like about face-to-face and what they don't like face-to-face. And so that teacher can then also look at the suggestions and make adjustment to the way that they teach. So you see, that's why that's a relevant SBA, because it can assist a teacher in improving her approach to her teaching strategies. Another example was, for example, who sells fridges cheaper? So they had some students went to court, some students went to what is next place be? TDC. And I think this next place Hosfors, but they're really expensive, but don't tell nobody. But yeah, and by the time they were finished with the SBA, they were able to make a suggestion to persons when they're going to buy on hire purchase, which store has the better hire purchase deals and which stores have the better cash deals. So what I'm going to do, after I put you guys in group, I'm going to send you guys the topics, a bunch of topics. You could create your own, but I'm going to give you some topic examples so that you have something to use as an example. No, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not going to stress you out to do no SBA. It comes a part of your package in my class, which means that I will do most of it. The work that you have to do though would involve the collection of data and writing certain sections. Okay, because we only have 1 year, I don't want us to use up too much energy into getting, because the SBA is so tedious and it's a lot of work. So I can do most of the heavy stuff and y'all just focus on sending out the surveys. So I'll type up the survey for you, just like how the assignments was. So let me show you. All right, with me? All right, listening, because I feel alone, like I'm talking to myself. Okay, good. All right, just making sure. So as I was saying, just like how we have this, I'm going to do it up just like this. And I'm going to send you the link on WhatsApp. and you just gonna have to send them out to people. Okay, y'all not in school, so y'all don't have access to like a school environment. So you would just have to choose persons, maybe a certain number of males, a certain number of females, and then you would have them answer it. Okay. What I like about this though is that in your SBA, there's a section that speaks about, let me see something here. No, I wanted to show y'all something, but I can't show it now. This just put all the information in chats already. So you don't have to go and stress about drawing up anything on Microsoft Word, because this system does it for you. So that's why I like it. And so my aim is for us to be finished with the SBA by the end of October latest. The end of October, we should have a 20 on 20 SBA. Okay. So as soon as class is finished today, maybe probably I'll wait till after Wednesday. Y'all will see me opening the WhatsApp groups with your groups and the persons in your groups. And we're going to start getting to work on picking your topics and also getting your information done. Sounds good? So y'all definitely, that's one stress y'all don't have to worry about, because I am going to do, let's say 75% of it. I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to tell you guys again why. For you, it doesn't add to any knowledge base. I'm gonna be honest. It's just extra work so that you go into the exam with some good marks and not fail. So let me just eliminate that stress for you and do it. Do most of the large work, and you just get the information, collect the data, and all that good stuff. How that sound? Because if some people want to do the work, I don't mind, you know. So it's up to you guys. Yeah, WhatsApp is better because the information is just really on discussion base and sharing information. Yeah, you don't need to like meet in Zoom per se, you know. And let's be real, all of us have so much different schedules. It may be very difficult to schedule online time to Zoom in groups. So that's why I figured that would have been the easiest way to operate. And you guys within your own groups could communicate and all that awesome stuff. So yeah. Okay, for those who start your SBAs in school, what I can do for you is help you. Like, let's say you're doing your SBA and want some feedback, even though your teacher with no, you don't have to start over. Oh, so some people would have started their SBAs already. No, you don't have to start over. I will just take it over and fix it and give you the information that you should collect. So you're not going to start over. All right. No problems. Like I said, if you already have your SBAs, for those people who are in school, those people who are doing it in another country, if you're working on your SBA, I think one person off island, you could do the SBA with me still, and you could just give the people in your country the MAC, and I'll send you all the information you would have to use to register your SBA. So all of that I would organize as well. Okay. Because again, maximum success is important for me, and whatever support I could extend to you, I will do so. So whether you're doing the SBA with me or not, you could always send it to me. I'll help you. I'll go through it and give you some advice on what you could do to improve it. All the awesome stuff. Yeah. Okay. So this is something outside of the SBA. I'm gonna do one more assignment. We only got 15 minutes. The other assignments were really easy. Actually, I think y'all actually slaughtered assignment 1, 2. Let me see. Until I know. Yeah. Assignments 1, 2, 3. I have to go through. Let me see. Most of the assignments y'all killed. Yeah, this assignment was done well. The only assignment I want us to go through that wasn't so strong was, let me see, the one on, we did the integers already, because that was the one that was the least. That one was the least. I don't know how to say it. What to say? It wasn't the strongest one. It was the weakest one. It was the weakest one. Okay, so let's get back here. So this week, guys, you don't have an online assignment, but here's what you do have. So let me just go back. Wait, let me just scroll up here. Let me just scroll up here. I don't think I saw the first part, some of the chat messages. I just scrolling up to see something. Okay, thank you. We'll go to ask. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go through one of the assignments. And guys, if there was a specific assignment that you personally didn't do so well in and you need some extra help, you can message me in your free time, okay? And when I'm free, I could just organize with you and we could go through it together, okay? No, this is my last. We have workshops this week. So between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., I'm going to be in workshops. But anytime after that, especially weekends are better. I work on the weekends, but whenever I'm free, I'll always make myself available to you, okay? Now, I want y'all to see something. I'm going to be posting this. The version I will be posting will not have all this drama on it. So you should already have, you should have this should what you should have in your book. So you should have it written on straight to 100. And we did 1 to 25. So Wednesday, we will be doing 26 to 50, but you will be doing 51 to 100 on your own. And you will send me the answers as proof that you did it, but then I am going to send you the answers to mark it. Everybody understand what I mean? Because I want you to mark it in your book. So for me to send you the correct answers, you have to show me your answer so I can see that you did it. And then I'll send you the correct answers and you just mark it in your own book and you total it. Everybody with me? Because I think we're going to end class here after we finish going through this. So once everybody confirmed that they understand, so again, just to repeat, next class, and I want y'all to see something. You see how this paper look? You see how this paper look? You see when you're practicing paper one questions in your notebooks especially, please write down your working. So for example, when you're doing it on your own, you are going to have your grid of your answers like this, but on a separate page, you're going to number your working. So for example, you see how we have these workings for question number 2? You're at question number 2 and the workings that you did to get your answer. So that when you revising, you could see what you did. Everybody with me with that? I would post this. I haven't posted this yet. I will post it tonight for everybody. I'm going to post this tonight for everybody. But the version I will be posting will not have all of this writing. It would be the blank version of it. Okay. And so we would have done 1 to 25 together. And so y'all on Wednesday, we're going to do 26 to 50. So you're going to do, and I'm not going to put a deadline to it. This is for you to do in your own discipline time. Okay. But it would be preferred that you try to do it before next week, Wednesday. Do as much as you can. If you could do all 51 time and send it to me, bam, I send you the answers, you're done. If you want to do it in sections, you do it in sections. But the point is, no punk vibes. Do not send me no questions with no blank spaces. You pick an answer. Everybody understand that? You pick, it's better to get a 1 out of 4 chance of getting the answer right than 0. If you put nothing, you can never get an answer. You can never get a mark. So that's something we need to enforce and practice. All right. So outside of that, on Wednesday, remember we started doing the paper 2 questions. So we'll also continue with the paper 2 questions. So persons who weren't here, we started So this is what we would have started. I'm also going to post this. Everybody should have had these questions written down. And we're going to work on the last 2 questions for this one. And there's another one that we're going to work on. I'm going to post it as well. Where is it? Assignment 2. I don't know if I'd uploaded it yet. Let me see. We got some past paper questions. Oh, I'm going to post this as well. This is the past paper questions that you should start to get familiar with. On Wednesday, we're going to attack 4 each. So these are the fraction questions that come. Usually the first question that comes look like this. Everybody seen it? Don't be intimidated. Don't be overwhelmed. Let me scroll in. We did a few of them last class. And then the next part of the question is always a decimal question. We also did some of those in class as well. When they ask you to find the exact value, and then they would ask you to find the correct 2 decimal places. And this will be posted for you to do your own practice in your own time. So if you want to do additional practice, you could do it, send it to me, and I'll mark it still. So it's only 3 pages. I think it's 4. 2 for the fractions, 2 for the decimals. All right, guys. So SBA starting, past paper drilling starting. Because after this week, we're moving on to algebra next week. We'll be done with question 1, part 1. So anytime you pick up any past paper question, you should be able to start being able to answer the first 2 questions in question number 1. All right. So that's where we're going to end class today. So I want you guys to know, you know how we just end class with our rank. Just to go back quickly to our assignments. If any assignments, again, you need any help in that we didn't go through, you could let me know. And yeah, I wonder how y'all did in this assignment here, assignment 1. When they ask you what types of numbers. So let's get to our rankings first. How was today's class? How did you manage with what we did today in class? So one person saying 9 out of 10, Jan saying 9 out of 10. What about everybody else? 9. 9, 8, 7 to 8. Okay. 8.5. 8. Okay, good. All right. So that's it for class today. I think next class, I'm going to open up class with this assignment. So somebody just write this down in your book. Beginning activity, activity number 2. That's what we're going to do as our opening session. And then we're going to jump straight because I want to do this. I want to make sure y'all are good with this. The laws that we did, because I think that was the last thing that we did. The laws. So we're going to do this the first thing in class. And then we're going to jump straight into the past papers. And then next week, Monday, we're jumping straight into algebra. All right, my beautiful people, my awesome, smart, proactive, brilliant, gangster-like math students. Thank you for being here tonight. Y'all have a great night, okay? I'll be posting the recording right now. Have a great week. See you on Wednesday. Good night.